Hi there, it's Ruth at Artful Stampin with a Sunday ramble. It's 10 o'clock on Sunday night and I'm a little bit tired. Oh, there's my husband. He's off to find it. He's just remembered there are 2 magnums in the freezer. And eating posh ice cream is a bit of a rarity to us. And also the kids are in bed, so that means they can't bother us to eat the ice cream. Okay, so I need to remember to keep looking at the camera, which is there, isn't it? Rather than looking at myself, which is there. So yesterday I had one of my what I call a bring your own craft day, and the reason I call it a bring your own craft day is it's sort of like a scrapbooking crop day, but it's a bit more than that actually. The reason I call it bring your own is because people bring their own projects to work on usually. So sometimes they bring maybe some scrapbooking they want to work on, some cards, so they will bring some of their stash if they've got inks and whatever home, but usually they bring their own cardstock and paper and things. However, what is a little bit different than a normal crop is that I take virtually all my Stampin' Up products that I own. Not usually like lots of consumables, but certainly all my tools, big shots, dies, punches, stamps of course, and all my inks. Okay, I do let people have free rein on my inks, so that's a bit scary sometimes because I have to remind people to clean the stamps before they use my ink pads, especially the light coloured ones. But most people are really lovely, and they just get to enjoy using all my products. So I'm in my hallway and about to show you now can I flip this? Oh no, I thought I could flip my camera around. I can't. Okay, so I'm just going to have to show you my box of stuff that I'm still to unpack because I've had a bit of a busy day today. So that's some of the tools, and then I take along some dimensionals and glues and stuff for sale. And also I take some of my retired papers and things, and then under there is some stamps, and then under there are more stamps. So I tend to take, as I said, nearly everything that I own, including retired products. So I don't usually get rid of retiring sentiment stamps or number stamps because they're so useful, and sentiments are one of those things that you sometimes need a very particular size sentiment, or in a particular font, or some people don't mind not having capital H and a B for happy birthday, whereas some people really want the capital H and the B. So I like to keep everything, all my sentiments. Maybe I've got rid of a few from kind of a few years ago, but from now onwards I tend to keep everything. So yeah, and then the other thing that I offer at my craft days are some classes. So if I go into, no, where have I put them? I'm just trying to think, where did I put them? Right, let's move into my craft room, which I'm sorry, but it's super duper messy. I'm just going to lay my camera down. Okay, so you guys saw this week, I think, and if you haven't seen this, please go to my blog, artfulstampin.co.uk, and have a look at these cards that I stamped at the beginning of the week. That one there. Let's see what I've got here. I'll show you that in a minute. I had such good fun doing these cards that I'm going to be playing with this stamp set a little bit more. This is a stamp set that's available during Celebration, so basically get it while you can, because it will be going in March. Sorry, at the end of March. Okay, so I'll show you one of the cards that we made. Oh, there's the other one as well. One of the cards that we made during our class was one using vellum, which I just threw down here and then I've lost it again. All right, here we go, here's one. Okay, And if you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen this card. It's so simple to do, okay? Who doesn't love the woodland embossing folder? It's so gorgeous. Now, I've got some really good news about this embossing folder. It's been so popular that Stampin' Up! Have actually decided to bring it back later on in the year. So don't panic if you didn't get the chance to purchase this. It is going to be available later on. Now, when I have to confess, when I first sort of looked at this image, I tended to think, oh, great, something for men's cards. However, I've come to realise it can look so pretty and feminine, because one of my favourite trees is the silver birch tree, and it really reminds me of the silver birch tree, which I think is a really feminine looking tree. And so I've touched it up a little bit more, made it a little bit more girly by putting the butterfly from the stamp set. Oh, I'm going to have to remind myself the name of it, but while I look for it, I'll tell you a bit more about this card. And put a little bit of lace, so that's the mint macaron lace, and then tied some of the silver braid that was available in the Christmas catalogue, which I really love, and I'm hoping they're going to bring it back at some point, because it's not available at the moment. So yeah, sorry, Grateful Bunch. So this cutesy little butterfly, which is so pretty, is from the stamp set Grateful Bunch. Now, if you live in the UK and you fancy spending a whole day crafting with myself and a Stampin' sister of mine, Julie, in Shrewsbury, we are organising a fabulous crafting retreat in May the 14th. And it's £70. It's from 10 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. And you are actually going to be getting, for your £70, that stamp set and the punch included in your £50 goodie bag. Okay, so if you're interested in coming along to that, please drop me a line and let me know. Spaces are filling really fast. We've already got 20 people booked on, and we're kind of thinking of having the cut off at 30. So please let us know very soon if you'd like to come to that. Okay, I'm going to show you one of the cards that we made yesterday. It's an easel card, but it's made from half a sheet of A4 card, and it is scored at the first score for there is done at 8.9 centimeters. Then the next score from here to that point there is 18 centimeters, and then you've just got the longer flap there. And it's worth really oh my goodness, my brain's absolutely fried. Burnishing, that's the word. Burnishing that crease there to make sure that it sits really nicely. And then I've just tied a ribbon using that really lovely rustic looking ribbon with that's Blackberry Bliss on there. And then I cut out, using the gorgeous butterfly thinlits, the shape there, and then used the actual butterfly to then stick on the piece of vellum that we then stuck on the back there. Okay, so you stick the vellum on. Then I stamped with the Grateful Bunch stamp set, the lace portion, and it just fits perfectly. So I stamped that side first, then that part fits perfectly in there. I didn't even plan it that way, it just worked that way. So sometimes these things happen, and just be grateful that these design flukes happen. So yeah, and then that got stuck down, and then I popped a little vintage button on there, which just finishes it really. And then, I mean, you can stick, if you want to do like a writing panel in there as well, but the whole class was really to show off vellum and what you could do with it. So if people want to put extra embellishment in there. Now, the other thing I thought would be really cute was if you to supply this card with a little battery operated tea light. I thought that would look lovely inside there. Let's see if I've got one on my desk. Sometimes I have these things hanging around for ages on my desk. Oh, let's see if it works. Oh, yes, it does. I'm going to have to switch the light off to see if it works. You can sort of see it glowing away there. Okay, so those were two of the cards that we did. If you want me to shoot a video on how to make that, please drop me a line, but hopefully my kind of explanations were sufficient. Yeah, so the day went really well. We had 9 folk for the whole day, including some teenage girls, which was lovely, and they really got into their crafting and enjoyed themselves. And then we had another lady and her daughter joined us for half the day. So we had lots of fun, and it's so nice for crafters kind of to get together, have a look at what projects they're working on, and look at each other's stuff, and to get more ideas, and then obviously be able to ask me questions and ask me for tips. So there was a lady who was trying to make a card, and she said, "Oh, I've done this so far, but I'm not happy with it." And I sort of said, "Oh, why don't you try this?" And she went, "Ah, yeah, perfect." So, it's really lovely to be able to share kind of my experience with people and help them out as they make things. Yeah, so yeah, and then today we've had quite a busy day. We've been at church, and we had a lovely number of people. So a couple of new people came, and some friends from another church came to support us, and it was just a really great time, fellowshipping and so on. And I got a bit of a busy week, slightly busy week. So tomorrow morning I'm going to be, so by the time you've watched this, actually it might have already happened. I'm going to be doing a little sort of taster card making event, but I have invited some of the ladies who usually come to some of my events in my town's town hall. There's a lady who's trying to resurrect a Monday craft market, and she saw some of the things that I've done, and she asked if I wanted to go and have a stall there. So I don't know what it's going to be like. I tend to sometimes do events that mean that I'll just meet new people so that I can tell them about what I do. So I'm not expecting to make money from it in that sense. It's basically like a PR exercise, and also just a sharing time for me and some of any existing friends, customers of mine that want to come and make something with me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Just seen something poking out there. I'd had a go making a vellum envelope, and I stamped on it. The only thing about using vellum is that the ink tends to dry quite slowly, so I just ended up super mucky because I kept putting my fingers in things. So this was a prototype of a possible project that I was going to do for my vellum class yesterday, but it just was so frustrating to make that I decided, no, I'm not going to do it with my ladies, because if I'm frustrated, they were going to get frustrated. But anyway, there it is. It is pretty special if you wanted to make a really nice kind of envelope for an occasion, but I do advise patience and keeping your fingers clean. Right, have I got anything else to show you? No, I think that's about it. Although, I will say this, I've recently reached the 1,100 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you very much, everybody that subscribes. And every so often I look to see what video is being watched, and because I get to see my analytics. And the card that I made, that is is it this one? Very similar to this one, slightly different shape, is my most popular video on YouTube. And it's funny because as I was making it, I just got on and made it. I had an idea in my head. It just came together and just worked really beautifully, and people absolutely love it, which is really great. I'm glad people are getting lots of inspiration from it. I even had a lady contact me and send me a picture of the one she made, which was really, really lovely. I love finding out what people make. On that note, I need to remind you that from the 1st of February there's a new challenge, and if you enter my challenge and you can qualify for the challenge draw, I'm afraid you have to be living in the UK or anywhere that Stampin' Up sells in Europe. So that's France, Germany, Holland and Austria, and of course the UK. And you need to make a card using the challenge guidelines. And you can find that at artfulstampin.co.uk. And I will enter all people that qualify for the to be entered the opportunity to win this stamp set, the Bloomin' Love stamp set. Okay, so if you haven't gone over there yet, please go to my blog artfulstampin.co.uk, because all the details will be on there. Do read through them carefully to make sure that you actually qualify, and you can submit your entry in various ways: Facebook, Instagram, email me, or put it on your blog and link back to me. Okay, right, I'm going to go now because I've got a couple of things to do, and it's Sunday night and I want to go and sit on the sofa with my husband and eat ice cream. Fabulous. Okay, lots of love to everybody. Thank you for joining me today, and come back soon because I've got lots of lovely videos for you for the next week. All right, bye-bye.